So, the whole thing is that we have a hunger for the transcendental, we have a hunger for the formless, for the one, for God. That's what we have. We have this innate hunger inside of us because that's what we truly are. To return to what we truly are. And because it's God. And so the thing is that we have this hunger in us, and what we do is with the ignorance is that we falsely assume that this hunger will be satisfied by the material world, by stuff outside of the self, by the material world, by anything. Oh, I gotta get the car. Oh, I gotta plan my life. Oh, I gotta do this. And then I'll feel satisfied, And what this is just ignorance to the fact that it's inside of you. What you really are hungry for is the transcendental state, the union with God. And that can be achieved with meditation. Levels of it can be achieved quite easily, and then it's kind of like, and then you're chilling, your suffering is really kind of easing, and you're going further and further into the state, into union with God. And so for me, I have very much recently, I'm at a point where it's like undeniable for me. It's undeniable. I'll do sensation seeking for a week and smoke weed for a week, and at the end of that week, I'll realize that I made that decision, that ignorant decision, because I ignorantly thought that it would satisfy my hunger for God, and it didn't. It didn't, and it made me ignore things for a week, and then when I stopped, I had to deal with pain and suffering and things that I was ignoring, get that all figured out, get that all fixed, and then I realized, oh yeah, the transcendental is what I really want. Raise my consciousness back up, and then it's really clear again from when you raise it again. And so it can be hard to, I know firsthand that you can be in states of consciousness where it's hard for you to understand that the transcendental is what you hunger for, it's what you really want, and it can be really hard for you to understand that, or understand that mantras work, or understand that this saint is really helping you, or that God's real, right? And so meditation is the way to start raising your consciousness. There's a threshold that you hit where it really stuff starts to be clear, and then you dedicate your will, and it's just easier. But you kind of have to get there. You have to get there somehow, and it's a little hard, and it's harder to get there when you're at a lower consciousness. It's harder to raise your consciousness, and so mantras help. Energy circulation, visualization. A really good energy circulation goes down and then back up to here. You breathe in through the nose, but energy starts from here, goes down the front of your body, and then you understand wraps around up your spine on the exhale, and then to the third eye. And so to see if you're raising your consciousness, to see if your energies and vibrations are somewhat good and okay, or if you achieve this type of state, your consciousness will be able to deal with things like understanding that God's real, understanding that you really just want the transcendental. Things like this will become a lot more clear for you. So that's why practices like this are done. And so if you're doing this, you'll know it's really working, because you'll start to feel energy on your third eye. That's your kundalini. That's part of your kundalini energy. And the higher you get, the more that energy starts to build on your third eye. And then you'll be able to just continue to circulate this energy throughout your day. The more you practice it, the better. And it's a higher consciousness. So of course you want to stay up there, but you don't want to make it a whole thing in the mind. Oh my god, I gotta stay up there, because that's your ego bringing you back down. That's your ego bring you back down. So yeah, meditation, breath, circulation of energy to help you raise your consciousness, to then help you understand that the satisfaction you desire is in the transcendental. It is in God. Okay, easy. How do we get there? By surrendering. That's how you get there. By letting go. Majorly spiritual progress and evolution of consciousness is majorly done by letting go and surrendering. Devotion. Right? There's many different ways that people surrender, but it's the same thing. And what it does is it starts to kill your ego. It starts to kill all the false self, right? There's the false self, and then there's the real self, which is God, the formless, the one. So when you let go, when you understand, I do not need to survive, and you really start working on subconscious parts of you, of the false self. I do not need to survive. You go into there. I do not need to survive, or you see it and you just let go of it, or you just let go of it in the moment. Like it happens over a long period of time. Some people are lucky; it happens instantly. But what I'll say is, it's honestly, you'll instantly feel a positive effect from it, especially if you're someone that deals with like more anxiety or suffering than other people. So for example, let's, like, whatever, like if you're having problems in your head, you're uncomfortable. I do not need to survive. Realize that, and what that does is instantly kills your ego. It might just be temporary, or it might not be all the way, right? But it like kills it like majorly. It kind of is all the way, and so it kills it majorly, sort of, and then you realize, oh, like, that's where my problems came from. My problems came from the ego, which is literally just the drive to model an image. And guess what? Construction of problems are great for modeling image. My ego's acting up right now. And so when you understand, I do not need to survive, oh, that really is, I do not need to create self-image, because the I is really just a self-image in the mind. It's really, really the mind that's messing with self-image and feelings and creating feelings out of it. So when you go, I do not need to survive, it's, I do not need to create self-image anymore. And so the false self starts to go away, and the false image starts to go away, which is the false self, right? And like I said, like, you can put this into practice instantly. You have anxiety, you're creating any problems, any sensations, problems, bad things. It's all caused by the false self. It's all caused by the ego trying to create self-image. So try that. Let go into God, Christ, Guru, whatever deity. Let go into the universe. Let go. I do not need to survive. All of them, or one of them, or something else. Whatever works for you. But understand that letting go is the big deal. Is the big deal. That's how you really start to get to the transcendental. A good type of meditation is, you're getting your body in a relaxed state to forget about it. That's what the transcendental is. The transcendental is beyond it. You gotta forget about the body. You gotta unidentify with the body and the false self to really get with the transcendental. Everything, it's all just illusionary, blah 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 blah. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Get identified with me, get engrossed in me. And when you really step back and stop, you're now in the transcendental. And that's really peaceful, and that's really who you are, and that's God. So yeah, God bless.